Humans have a biological obsession with locked doors. Tell us we aren't allowed to know something, and we'll spend lifetimes trying to rip it open. The Vatican archives usually sit right at the top of the cultural conspiracy list. Rumors suggest these shelves hold proof of extraterrestrial contact or the inner workings of the Illuminati. The official name, Archivum Secretum, relies on a Latin adjective that simply means private. As this graphic shows, the collection represents a century's worth of the papacy's personal documents and correspondence. Researchers who navigate the security checkpoints find historical treasures rather than supernatural ones. Among the millions of pages is King Henry VIII's 1530 petition asking the Pope for a divorce from Catherine of Aragon. Institutional secrecy often creates these false mysteries, distracting us from the fact that our most profound blind spots are actually hardwired into our own biology. There are certain images and concepts the human brain is not meant to see. Our evolution built physical barriers to stop us from looking too closely at specific realities. Take this robot. It looks human, but the proportions and movements are slightly off. This triggers the uncanny valley, a wave of severe psychological discomfort we feel when an entity looks almost but not entirely like us. Cognitive psychologists theorize this reaction is rooted in mortality salience. An almost human figure subconsciously registers as a corpse, forcing the mind to confront the physical reality of death and triggering an immediate urge to look away. Another theory suggests this response is a stimulus-driven appraisal designed to protect us. The visual abnormalities signal sickness or a compromised immune system, commanding us to avoid potential infection. These biological veils are evolutionary survival instincts, triggering an immediate physical aversion to anything suggesting death or disease. When you scale up from individual survival instincts to the survival of entire nations, secrecy becomes physical infrastructure. Tucked into the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia is the Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center. Underneath this natural camouflage lies a facility dedicated to the continuity of government, ensuring that leadership survives an existential threat. The above-ground training site sits on hundreds of acres, but the actual defense happens below. Area B is a 600,000-square-foot subterranean bunker, completed in 1959. The facility saw its most significant activation following the September 11th attacks, when the majority of congressional leadership was evacuated to the mountain by helicopter. In moments of total crisis, governments secure their own survival by physically burying their leaders and their operations under millions of tons of rock. Bunkers like Mount Weather shield the state from external destruction, but other networks are built to project power outward, completely detached from public scrutiny. In the weeks following 9/11, the CIA established a network of secret prisons across Eastern Europe and Africa. These black sites were built to detain individuals classified as unlawful enemy combatants, isolating them outside standard political and legal jurisdictions. Moving prisoners into these blind spots required an invisible logistics network. The agency frequently leased unmarked private aircraft, like a Gulfstream jet known as the Red Sox plane, to maintain secrecy in international airspace. Stripped of political oversight and human rights monitors, interrogators operating inside these facilities employed extreme interrogation and torture methods to extract information. Institutional secrecy ultimately thrives on a complete detachment from accountability, creating shadowy zones where normal human rights no longer apply. We mapped our biological blind spots and hidden government facilities, but our largest blind spot spans the entire observable universe. There are billions of star systems capable of hosting life, yet we look out into the cosmos and hear absolutely nothing. This mathematical contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the lack of evidence is the Fermi paradox. To resolve this, astrobiologists propose the Great Filter. The theory suggests that somewhere between single-celled organisms and a spacefaring empire, there is a barrier that makes advanced life exceedingly rare. This timeline illustrates the Great Filter concept. We move along this progress line toward development. That massive red barrier is an inevitable wall of self-destruction. Paleobiologists suggest our inherited survival instincts become incompatible with advanced technology, destroying civilizations before they colonize the stars. The silence of the stars might not be empty space, but a graveyard of civilizations that couldn't survive their own progress. Astronomers are currently scanning the Milky Way for technosignatures, signs of alien technology that would finally pierce this cosmic veil. Finding these ruins would suggest that life evolves frequently, but finding only ruins would mean that life also dies frequently. If technosignatures are abundant and advanced civilizations are absent, it implies the Great Filter is in our future, and our own extinction is likely imminent. We are surrounded by concentric circles of the unseen, internal filters for the uncanny, institutional bunkers for the state, and a silent universe that offers no guarantee of a future. Despite the veils designed to make us look away, human curiosity guarantees we will keep staring into the dark until we find our end.